All right, Matt. So, question for you: do you have any collectibles that you value, and it would probably get under your skin if someone's children decide to play with them and damage them?
Like without asking?
Yeah.
Or like,
yeah. You specifically say, "Hey, these are for looking, not touching. Please don't mess with them."
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, toys are toys, right? But, like, then, like, I'd be pretty annoyed. Like, I've got the PS1 game collection up there. A lot of those cost a lot of money. Like, I'd be annoyed if they took those and, like, damaged them or whatever without asking. Like, I'm happy to let them play with it, but, like, without asking, yeah, I'd be annoyed. Why?
Yeah, so Reddit user Practical Sky 7203 said, "Am I the asshole for banning my sister-in-law and her kids from my house? I, 39F, have a grand piano that's been in my family for generations. And it was originally my great-grandmother's, passed down to my grandmother, then my mother, and now me." So
grand pianos, man, they're expensive. They're expensive.
They are, and even just tuning them is expensive, let alone trying to repair anything that might happen.
Yeah, M's always wanted one, but like she's like, one, we don't have the house for it, and two, they're expensive. Like we'd have to take out like a second mortgage for that thing.
Oh yeah, and the space requirement, but they are gorgeous.
I immediately don't like where this is going. I immediately don't like where this is going.
It gets worse.
Okay.
So it's a Steinway grand piano, worth more than I care to say, but its value is more sentimental than monetary. And it's been lovingly cared for and holds countless memories of family gatherings, holidays, and music lessons. And I've always treated it as more than a piece of furniture, and it's part of our family history. So very sentimental piece. This is like the icon of the family history.
I mean, considering they've said it's more sentimental than its value, that's a lot of sentiment.
Yeah,
there's a lot of oof. Ooh, I'm getting
this is
nervous,
more than
man.
grandma's china cabinet.
I'm getting nervous.
So last weekend I hosted a family gathering, and my sister-in-law, we'll call her Laura, 29, came with her two kids, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. And her kids are a handful, to put it mildly, and I made it clear when they arrived that the piano was strictly off limits. Even put up a sign that says, "Do not touch."
Ooh.
I don't know how well that'll work for a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old.
I feel like that's more of an enticement than anything. But all right.
All they read is "do touch."
Yeah, right. Don't touch that. Immediately want to touch it.
So at some point during the party, I noticed her youngest was running his hands all over the keys while Laura just laughed. And I told her it wasn't a toy, and she said, "Oh, it's fine. He's just curious," but she pulled him away, and I thought that was the end of it. Later, I walked into the living room and nearly had a heart attack. Her older son was standing on top of the piano while Laura stood nearby taking pictures like it was cute. I yelled at them to stop immediately, but by the time the kid got down, the damage was done. There were deep scratches all over the lid and the top of the piano.
That's not okay. That's not okay. The first time I was like... The first one I was like, do you know what? They've been told not to touch it. It's bad of the person to let their kids touch it, but like it's just harmless, like touching it and like experimenting with it and stuff. Kids like to experiment with stuff, but like that second one,
fingerprints, you can wipe those off.
Yeah, but that second one, the kid's on top of it, and oh my god. Oh, I'm almost going to say that spite. I'm almost going to say that spite on her side of like, oh, well, my kids can't touch it. Well, I'm going to sit them on it.
Walk around the corner and see your nephew doing the can on top of it.
Right.
So either way, I was furious, and I told Laura she needed to leave. And she got defensive, saying I was just being dramatic and that it's just a piano. She refused to apologize and even accused me of being uptight for caring so much about an old piece of wood.
Oh, at that point, I'd be like, you're getting the repair bill. You're getting the repair bill.
For real.
Right. Let's see how not important it is and everything when you see how much this is going to cost to fix this.
That went from sentimental to valuable real quick.
Oh, yeah, it did.
So that night I texted her to let her know that she and her kids are no longer welcome at my house. She responded by calling me petty and claimed that I was punishing her kids for just being kids. Some family members are on my side, saying Laura was reckless and disrespectful. Others think I'm overreacting and being too harsh, saying it's just a piano and I shouldn't ban family over it. So to me, this isn't just a piano, it's part of my family's history, and she let her kids ruin it while she stood there laughing. Am I the asshole for banning her after this?
That is a tough one. That is a tough one, because the thing is, like, I get it. I get it. Like, you've set some clear rules, and it's not the kids that have broken that rule, because it's not like the kid has wandered off and done it, and the parents like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize they'd done it. The parents actively participating in this.
Yeah, and
Like,
it wasn't even an absent-minded thing like, oh, I turned around for a second and he jumped up on the piano. No, you're sitting there thinking it's cute.
Yeah. So, like, it's not the kids' fault. It's the parents' fault. You know, like, don't get me wrong, the kid should know better, but how does the kid know better? The parent teaches them. The parent teaches them to know better.
I personally don't think it's overreacting. I mean, I think it's more responsible to ban them from the house, because you are at that point saying, look, there are too many valuable things in this house that I don't want either party to be responsible for. I think it's perfectly understandable. Like,
Yeah.
the ability to respect people's personal belongings was given, and it was obviously trampled on, showed they didn't care. There's no respect for it, whether it be sentimental or monetary. So I don't think she's the asshole for doing it at all.
I don't think she's the asshole. I think the way that she's approached it has made her look like potentially the asshole. I think that's the issue, right? So, like, if she turned around and said, like, I gave you, like, specific things. All I said was, do not touch this. And then you, as the adult, did this, like, allowed this to happen. So you, and therefore your children, are not allowed back in my house because you've not been able to follow my basic rules. That would be a better way of saying it, right? Because then you're saying it's the parent, not the kid's fault. And so I think people would be less inclined to be like, oh, you're overreacting and everything.
Yeah, if you just flat out say, look, you're no longer allowed in my house, get out. That's definitely going to set you up as the bad guy.
Yeah, especially when, like, I think as well, because it's a grand piano, people are immediately going to think, oh, it's a money thing, you know? But the thing is, if that piano's so sentimental to the family, why are people not understanding it?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably more sentimental value to her, yeah. Because she's the one that's inherited it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, see, for me, I would probably react in a very similar way. Like, if my niece came over and behaved like that, I'd be more angry at my sister-in-law rather than the niece. But, like, I would basically be like, look, I don't want you back round until you learn to respect my stuff, you know? So maybe like that. But, like, the problem is like, if it's a close-knit family and all that kind of thing, it does start creating waves, right?
There's going to be backlash.
Yeah.
I maybe the option should be up to, well, if I can, look past this, if you're willing to help with the repair cost. Yeah. I mean, if there's scratches and there's, like, noticeable damage, that's not just gonna wipe off.
No, that's not just gonna go away.
I mean, that's the equivalent of, like, going up and keying somebody's car.
Yeah. You can buff it, but it may not come out, you know?
Mm-hmm. Not without actual body work.
Yeah. I don't think they're the asshole, but I think it's going to cause them a lot of problems down the line.
It is. There's definitely going to be a rift.
Yeah, for sure. Let's just hope I never have my grand piano jumped up and down on.
Yeah, well...
when I get one.
If you do, record it and put it on TikTok.
Insert the Fairly Odd Parents, if I had one. Have you ever had something like that where, like, a family member's damaged something of yours? I don't think I've ever had that.
Unfortunately, I grew up. All of my siblings were older when I was a kid, so they were all out of the house, and I was kind of brought up as an only child, and I was the one doing the stupid stuff. Like,
right.
I think I'm personally the reason why I don't want kids, because I know what I was like as a kid, and I don't want to deal with it. Oh, yeah. I'm my own, like, advert saying, think before you do.
Yeah. See, I am an only child, but, like, so I didn't really have it, but I do remember having, like, I had Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards as a kid, and I had so many, and, like, the hindsight thing of looking back now and going, damn, those are worth a fortune now, like, having that kind of thing. But, like, I remember, like a car boot sale, which I don't think you have in America, Basically, think of a garage sale, but everybody turns up into a field with all their cars. They open up the trunk of their car and they just sell stuff out the trunk of the car. Like they might sell
like a flea market.
Yeah, kind of, I suppose. Like they set up like a table and they put out all the stuff they're trying to offload on people. Essentially, it's normally a
Public
way
yard
like
sale.
yeah, essentially. Like normally, like people will drag everything out of like their attic and everything, and just to be like, okay, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff now. I remember my dad had taken like the box that had those cards, and there were thousands of cards, like first edition Pokemon, first edition Yu-Gi-Oh, all that kind of stuff. And I didn't know, and he sold it for like £50. Like the entire box for like £50. I'm there going, you absolute moron. Those cards, even without today's costs, are worth hundreds and hundreds. Now they'd be worth thousands.
Yeah, it'd be like $50 just to be in the presence of those now.
So not only did he get rid of something that I loved without telling me, but he did it at a bargain. You know? It's amazing how you're supposed to love family, and yet they try your patience constantly.
Yeah. All right, so what do you guys think? Have you ever had family just completely disrespect your personal boundaries and trample over something that was valuable to you? If so, how did you react? How would you react if it hasn't happened yet? Let us know down below in the comments section. And if you're not subscribed, be sure to go ahead and hit that and, maybe stick around for the next one. Bye.